We are going to use these two phrases of GEMDAS and GEDMAS to determine our order of operations. At this point, you should have your worksheet that looks very similar to the screen you see now. I'm first just going to divide my sheet according to the lines that I'm drawing. Please look at how I'm drawing the lines and do the same on your paper. So, first we're looking at G. G stands for groupings. So again, anything that I am writing on my paper, you are writing on yours. Groupings can be multiple things. We can see that they are parentheses, brackets, square root symbols, and fraction bars. Anytime that we have any of these groupings in a math problem, that indicates that we need to do those groupings first. The common thing that you're going to see in 5th grade are the parentheses and maybe some brackets, but the other two are more for when you get to middle school, and you need to remember that they are a part of the groupings, and parentheses are not the only symbol that indicate us to solve it first. Our next letter, now just a reminder, if I'm moving too fast, you need to pause the video so you can catch up. Our next is exponents. Exponents, we've already learned about this here. It's when we have our number and there is a exponent attached to that number. That would indicate that we need to do that repeated multiplication before we did anything else other than the groupings. So our exponents are coming second when we are doing our math number sentences. Our third section is where it gets a little bit more complicated and why we have our two names that we follow, GEMDAS and GEDMAS. If you remember, they made a compromise that whichever operation between multiplication and division appears first, that is the operation we're going to do. So I'm going to write multiply, then divide, and I'm going to write divide, then multiply. Because we are going to be following both scenarios. So as an example, again, pause if you're still writing, we have 6 times 8 divided by 3. In this case, I'm going to do my 6 times 8 first, which is 48. I'm going to bring down the divided by 3. 48 divided by 3 is 16. In the other situation, we could have 15 divided by 3 times 4. In this case, I'm going to start with the division on the left and finish with the multiplication. So either may go first, it depends what is on the left or the right. And I'm going to take this time to remind you that when we're doing math sentences, we don't just go left to right. This is very difficult for us to get used to because our brain is trained to read left to right, but we're not doing math number sentences this way. Groupings always are first. Exponents are always next. If we have multiplication and division, that's when we have to look which one appears on the left. And that indicates what to do first between multiply and divide. If exponents are on the right of multiplication, we still do exponents before we multiply. Our last section is written a little bit strangely, and if you remember from the story, they say that you can choose whatever order you want for adding and subtracting if you've mastered negatives, and we have not done that yet. So for now, we're going to solve it just like multiplication and division. Add, then subtract, subtract, then add. If addition is on the left, then we will add first. If subtraction is on the left, then we will subtract first. 4 plus 8 minus 9. I get 12 minus 9 and 3. The other way around. 6 minus 2 plus 9. 6 minus 2 is 4, plus 9 is 13. And you can test if you were to do this the other way. 2 plus 9 is 11. 6 minus 11 is not going to give us 13. So, this is the system that we're following called order of operations, the order in which we solve mathematical number sentences. You need to have this organizer with you when you come to class because we will be exploring it a lot. We are going to complete 2 practice problems that you can find on the back of your worksheet. The rest I want you to try on your own and bring back to school tomorrow. So, as we evaluate this, I'm always going to think about my organizer, and that is GEMDAS and GEDMAS, and they are going to drive how we are solving these problems. So, first thing I'm going to look for are groupings, and I can see right here that I have parentheses. So please make sure that you are writing your work exactly the same as I am, and we're going to talk tomorrow about why I'm asking you to do that. So 3 minus 1 gives me 2. Once there's only one number left from the original parentheses, we can drop our parentheses, so I don't need to draw them around the 2. I'm going to bring down the rest of the problem in the exact same order on both sides of what I have left. So now I have 5 times 2 divided by 2. I'm done with groupings. I have no exponents, and now I'm getting to this multiplication division decision. And I can see that the multiplication occurs on the left, so I'm going to solve that part first. 5 times 2 is 10. I bring down my divided by 2, and we have 5 as our last step. The next one we're going to look at is 8 divided by 2 times parentheses 4 minus 2. So think to yourself, where are we going to be starting this problem? Again, if you want to quiz yourself, solve a piece, play the video, solve a piece, play the video, so you can check your work according to my work, that would be a great idea. So the first thing we're going to look for are groupings. And we do have groupings. They are parentheses. So I'm going to solve 4 minus 2 first, which I get 2. And then I'm going to bring down the rest of my problem. Again, evaluate yourself. What are we doing next? We have no groupings, no exponents, and again, we have this multiplication division decision. In this case, the division is occurring on the left, so that will be first. I bring my times 2 down, and then I can finish with one step. So you need to take this time to solve the rest of the number sentences on the back. Do your best to show your work exactly the way we are showing our work together. Use your organizer as a guide, and come ready to have thorough discussions and explore this more tomorrow.